March is Brain Injury Awareness Month, and now is a time to get up to speed on symptoms because a recent survey found 50% of people who experience a possible concussion don't get checked out. Joining us now is Dr. Beth, Medical Director in Abbott's Diagnostic Business and Neurologist, and Kathy Dieringer, President of the National Athlete Trainees Association, to share what parents, coaches, and caregivers need to know about concussions and why you should never just walk off and not get checked. Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Good morning. We're well, thank you.
Good. Okay, let's talk here, Dr. Beth, about, of course, what is going on there. I know there's a study that you've done, and 1 in 2 concussions are ignored. So let's get into this, and what are some things that we need to look at, and why it's important to get checked out?
Sure. It's important to know that concussions can happen to anyone, anywhere, at any time, and they're generally unexpected. So before you have a concussion, it's important to know what the most common signs and symptoms of concussion are. At Abbott, we surveyed 1,000 adults across the United States, and what we found is that 8 out of 10 didn't know the most common signs and symptoms. And they are headache, memory problems, nausea and vomiting, sensitivity to light or sound, irritability, sleep disturbances, and just not feeling yourself.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of people ignore that, and those are the reasons why they shouldn't, especially when it comes to our sports. And March is National Training Month, Athlete Trainings Month, and this is something that's important that we need to really look at our athletes when they are out there playing, young and old. Am I right?
Yes, you're absolutely right. We know that about 300,000 concussions occur every year to high school and collegiate athletes. And we should be asking the question, who's taking care of those athletes when those concussions occur? Athletic trainers have the educational background, the knowledge, and the expertise to adequately recognize and manage those concussions. But yet we know that 1/3 of our high schools across the country don't have access to an athletic trainer. So if you're a parent, I would ask the question, who's taking care of those injuries when they occur so that my child's health and safety is being prioritized?
Yeah, and we got to break some myths here, because a lot of people think concussions happen when they're playing football really hard or when they're, soccer, hitting each other's head. But it's actually smaller times when these concussions can happen, especially in younger people, right?
The most common sign, the common reason for concussion would be slips and falls, followed by motor vehicle accidents. So sports are an important cause of concussion, but not the most common.
Right. That's exactly right. And some of the myths that we know about are, one, that males have concussions more often than females, when in actuality, it's the opposite. Women are getting concussed 2 to 3 times more often than men. And another myth is that you have to have a blow to the head in order to get a concussion. And you can have a significant blow to the body and create enough force to have a concussion as a result as well. And then there are other myths, Beth?
For example, people think that you can't go to sleep after a concussion. Once you've been cleared, it's extremely important to get enough rest and sleep so that your brain can recover and heal. Another big myth that I see all the time is people think that if they didn't lose consciousness, they're fine and they didn't have a concussion. That's just not true. The vast majority of concussions will not result in a loss of consciousness.
Yeah, I think the big part is not to ignore it. And I think sometimes as parents or even as trainers, we kind of like, oh, just walk it off, rub some dirt on it and you'll be fine. Let's get out there, when we really need to pay attention. So how can someone find out more about, of course, symptoms of concussions and what to do when they suspect they have one?
People can go to concussionawarenessnow.org and stay tuned, because we have a new public service announcement coming out later this month.
I like it. Thank you, ladies, for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Brad.